Hey friends, Sleepy here, and welcome to another episode of my weekly playlist series. We've made it to another Friday, which means it's going to time for me to share with you guys the games I've been playing during the week. I'll give you guys my thoughts and opinion on these titles, whether I think you guys should check them out or not. I want to hear your guys' opinions on the games as well, whether you've played them, what you liked about them, maybe there's something you didn't like about them. Let me know about the games you guys are playing as well, as that gives me great ideas and new games to check out, and I really do appreciate you guys telling me about the games you play, as you guys have piqued my interest in a lot of titles. And if you guys have any suggestions you think I should check out, let me know. I also appreciate your guys' suggestions for new games you think I should play, as you guys have also suggested a lot of good titles over the last couple of years of me doing this series. And I have a nice growing list of games to check out. So now this week I've got two games to share with you, one for PlayStation 2 and one for Xbox 360. As we'll get started here with this first one, which is Made Man Confessions of the Family Blood, which I had an absolute blast playing this game the last 2 weeks. I actually did beat and complete this game. Had a lot of fun with it. Took me about 5 or 6 hours to beat it. So not a very long game, but it's one I definitely think you guys should check out, especially if you're a fan of mafia stories and mafia games, and you like games that control and play similar to games like Max Payne, because this game reminds me a lot of Max Payne, just with a little bit more clunkier controls, but still a really fun experience. I'll read you guys some stuff from the back. So, from the mind of the acclaimed crime author David Fisher and the mouth of a notorious mafia insider, in the golden age of organized crime, loyalty is the family name. From the jungles of Vietnam to the territorial streets of New York, climb the mafia ranks as Joey Verola. Now that you're in, there's only one way out. Wield powerful weapons simultaneously for twice the respect. Choose from more than 25 authentic tools of the trade. Survive 17 intense locations throughout 3 decades of the family's most powerful history. So the game takes place during the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And the game is all told from Joey's perspective, telling like through flashbacks, telling you about how he got involved in the mafia and his life and everything. And it's just a really fun story that I think you guys should definitely experience. Rampage through enemy fire with poetic precision using the kill rush feature, which is something that's really cool. And target explosive items in the environment to flush out and light up your enemies. Jump to cover to avoid enemy fire and counterattack with stealth. So a really unique game. So I'm going to insert a gameplay clip here showing you guys the game and talking more in depth about my thoughts of this. Alright guys, we're going to take a look here at Made Man. It's a really fun game on the PlayStation 2. I actually just beat this game last night, went through all 17 chapters. So I'm going to show you guys a little clip here from Chapter 8. I'll let you guys see how the gameplay is. If you guys are a fan of Mafia games, I highly recommend you guys pick up a copy here of Made Man, as I'm a big fan of Mafia stories and Mafia games. Like, I love playing Mafia 1, 2, and 3. And what's really cool is you play as the main character, Joey, and he's voiced by the same guy who does the voice of Vito from Mafias 1 and 2.
Jade Lee. Beautiful and deadly. Now, Jade had been running the family business since her father passed away. Now, what most people didn't know was that Jade and the Triad controlled ever-increasing areas of New York.
understand your situation, Mr. Barola. Indeed, I'd like to extend my sincere gratitude for the services you and your associates have provided. Unfortunately, this restaurant is under new management, and your protection is no longer required. But please accept this small gift as a token of our gratitude.
At the time, Jade had no idea who the fuck she was messing with, but she learned soon enough.
So this game controls and plays just like Max Payne does, as far as being a third-person shooter. The controls can be a little tough to get used to at the very beginning because it can be kind of clunky with as far as controlling Joey here. But if you play around with the game for just a few minutes, you'll actually get used to it. And it actually doesn't control too bad after you get used to the controls. Unfortunately, you cannot adjust like the speed of the aiming reticle or anything. You can adjust whether you invert the aim, which I always play inverted aim, so I'm glad you can do that. You use the left stick to control Joey, and then you use the right stick to aim your weapons, which you do have a nice variety of different guns to choose from in the game, which is awesome. You also have a cover system, so if you hit X, you can actually get into cover, and then you can actually peek out. Definitely recommend using headshots anytime you can, because you can definitely save a lot of ammo that way.
We hadn't exactly turned up expecting a war. When Jade's father, Chung Lee, has run things, he'd always toed the line. Always paid his dues. He didn't have any interest in making enemies out of the family. But Jade, now, she was a different fucking prospect altogether. Oh, she had big plans for the Triad and had no problem telling us exactly when we weren't welcome. See, Jade was an American, born and bred. The way she saw things, she had as much right to this turf as we did. In short, she was becoming a big fucking problem.
It's also cool that there's actually destructible environments, so you can destroy stuff too, which is really sweet. Yeah, definitely being able to do headshots is really key into this game, because you can easily get overwhelmed by enemies. And so you're able to reload with the square button, and then you can zoom in by hitting R2, but it just like you don't hold it, you just click it and then it zooms in. So that's another thing you got to get kind of used to. It took me a bit to get used to that if you you just push it and then you zoom in, and you push the X button to get into cover, and you push it again to get out of cover. You can also sneak in this game by pressing the L2 button and you'll crouch, and then using the D-pad you can actually change the different weapons you have available, or you can even use your fist, because there are melee weapons like katanas, there's baseball bats, and some other melee weapons that you can actually use as you explore. And if you find two weapons, like two handguns, you actually can dual wield in this game, which is really sweet. And definitely comes in handy. So see, now I can dual wield with two weapons. You use the circle buttons, your action buttons, you can use to open different doors and stuff. And sometimes the AI can be kind of stupid at times. I've noticed they'll be like point blank to them and they don't actually shoot you at times. So yeah, you have that kind of little things to deal with in this game, but it doesn't take away from the game at all. I find it funny sometimes. Like, see, this guy will just sit there and just let you kill him. It's funny. But it just happens to do with just the gameplay and stuff. Like, see, that guy just standing there. But you can see sometimes they will freaking try to flank you and rush you. So like I said, you guys can see, you know, those headshots come in very handy. Oh, here's something I want to show you guys. Here's a retort kill. Sometimes an enemy won't be completely dead, and you have to do this little cutscene there. By killing him, like with the retort kill, you actually regenerate all your health, which is awesome. Because you do have a health meter, but you also can find body armor throughout the game. There are little health pickups. You have first aid kits to do full health, and then you also have little medicine bottles that don't heal you as much. And then I really like too that the items that you can find in the game do glow, so you know you can pick them up. Like, so these are different ammo ones. And I did want to let you guys know about the save feature in this game too. Is you cannot just save anytime you want. You literally would go to save. Like I can just override, you know, this profile 3 here. And it saves at checkpoints. So all the different levels are broke up to different checkpoints. So if I continue from here and I was to die, regardless of how far I got, if I did not make it to another checkpoint, you have to go all the way back to this checkpoint and have to start over with whatever health and items you have at the time, which can be annoying, especially if you get further in the game, as it can get really tough in some of the later levels, like especially the last 2 levels of the game. Man, does the game really ramp up difficulty. Even this level was a pretty difficult when I first had gone to it, because there's just so many enemies and waves of enemies. But using the headshot trick, you know, I was able to get through a lot of them. And another trick you can do for this level too is by I found out by hanging back by this door, you don't have so many enemies to contend with, because once you come out here, you know, you have enemies that can get to you on multiple sides. They can come to the top up there, they can come to the side, and so it can be really difficult. If you start finding yourself being overwhelmed, I recommend just running back in the door. So this is one of those games you definitely don't want to just go out guns blazing or whatever, because you can die real quickly, especially like, see here, we start getting overwhelmed, so that's where I tried this trick. See, they have a harder time aiming at you when you're back this far from them. I can show you guys here too. They have it has a slowdown time when you kill people. You bring the meter up, and you can, you know, do like a slow down bullet time thing, just like you did in like Max Payne has, which is pretty sweet. Definitely comes in handy when you start getting overwhelmed by enemies, because you can slow down and have better chance of getting your shots off. And as long as you have that blue meter up there, so you guys can see there's just a lot of enemies in this game, but just wanted to give you guys a little look here overall. Just a really fun title. Some see some of the enemies will come back here and will flank you. But I've gotten really good with that, aiming for the headshot and everything. And just a game I think you guys should definitely give it a chance. You know, this got a lot of hate back in the day. You know, kind of mixed reviews. People complained that it was kind of clunky, and, you know, the people complained about, you know, like the graphics. But I mean, for me, it looks pretty good for a PlayStation 2 title, and it's just a story that's really fun. I beat this story. It took me about like 5 or 6 hours, so it's not a very long game, but it's definitely one I think you guys should check out. Definitely a game I would say that's worth like $15 or less. You know, is worth playing through. Just a really fun game. They can get difficult at times. But if you enjoy third-person shooters and you like games that play like Max Payne, highly recommend this game. Definitely you guys should check it out. Hope you guys enjoyed that look here at Made Man for PlayStation 2. Really fun title, really good game that I definitely recommend you pick up a copy and try it out. I have noticed that online it's kind of hard to find on eBay. There's not a whole lot of complete copies. There's some loose ones, so I'm not sure how hard it might be to find in your local area. But if you ever get a chance to pick up a copy of Made Man, I absolutely had a blast playing through and beating it, and I do know that I'll eventually go through and beat it again and maybe try it on the hardest difficulty because the game does get really difficult towards the end. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And the other game I've been playing is one that I have not played for probably it's been a few years, and it's one that I wanted to go back and complete on its hardest difficulty, and that was Silent Hill Downpour, which I'm an absolute huge fan of the Silent Hill game. Been a fan of them ever since I played the original Silent Hill on PlayStation 1, and I've always enjoyed the various Silent Hill games that are out there. I know this game got a lot of hate because it wasn't made by Team Silent, but it's one I think you guys should check out, especially if you're a fan of Silent Hill games. So who can stop the rain? Join convict Murphy Pendleton in Silent Hill where fear and torment are inescapable. It's just a unique Silent Hill title that gets a lot of hate, but I definitely think it's something you guys should check out. And of course, I'm going to insert a little gameplay clip here going into further depth of why I enjoy this game. Alright guys, we're going to take a look here at Silent Hill Downpour. I've always been a huge fan of the Silent Hill games ever since I played the first Silent Hill on PlayStation 1. And I pretty much play and beat every single Silent Hill game that has ever been created. And I absolutely love all of them. I even love this one, even though this one did get a lot of hate. It's really different from the other Silent Hill games as it wasn't made by Team Silent, but it's still a game I think you guys should definitely check out. Alright, so let's get started here. Well, something that too I'll let you guys know that's really great about the Xbox 360 version is it is backwards compatible on Xbox One and Xbox Series X consoles. So I'm here on my Xbox One X. It does run fine on Xbox 360, but sometimes the loading times can get annoying. And by having it on a much more powerful console, it does run a lot better and also gets a little performance to the graphics and stuff. So if you do have an Xbox One X and you have a copy of this game, I recommend playing it on your Xbox One consoles, as you will get a nice performance boost for this, and the game does run a lot smoother and loads a lot quicker.
Hello? Can anyone hear me?
Just always enjoyed the Silent Hill series because it's always, you know, a dark horror game. You know, it's a survival horror series, and it's always eerie, and it's really nice seeing these games in updated graphics with much better visuals thanks to being on newer consoles. Like, I would really love to see one made today with the Xbox One and the Series consoles. Like, it'd be just amazing to see the graphics on those consoles and the game they can create for it. The thing that's a little different about this Silent Hill game compared to previous ones is you don't have an unlimited like supply of unbreakable weapons or items like you did in previous Silent Hill titles. So, you know, in the older games, you know, you would find like a handgun and you would keep it for the entire game, or you'd find a shotgun, you'd keep it for the entire game, you'd find a baseball bat, a melee weapon, you know, you'd keep it forever. In this one, you actually have to worry about weapons breaking, because they do have a durability. They have only so much ammo for them, and then when you run out, you know, you lose the use of that gun until you find more ammo for it, or you change it for another weapon. And you can only actually hold 2 weapons at a time, so you have to decide, you know, what weapon are you going to keep with you, and how durable that weapon is.
Get your ass down on the ground now. Hands where I can see them. Do it.
Take it easy. I'm not going anywhere.
I said, on the ground now.
I was just looking for help.
And you just happen to lose your cups in the process? Save the bullshit.
This is stupid. I'll meet you back down at the bus, okay? You're gonna get yourself killed.
Shut up. Keep your goddamn hands where I can see them. Ah! Shit! Pull me up.
And something else that's cool about this one is you actually get choices to make throughout the story, and it affects the story and affects the kind of ending you get, because this game, like previous Silent Hill games, has multiple endings, some good, some bad, and some unique ones. So it's really cool. I love when they have multiple endings like this, because you can play through the game multiple times. I've seen every ending actually, and I'm currently working on beating this game on the hardest difficulties. I've never beat it on hard yet, so that's what I'm doing with this playthrough.
Hang on.
I'm slipping. Oh god.
Don't let go. Don't. Shit! Damn it.
I just love how eerie Silent Hill is, with how it's just foggy and like a deserted town, and there's creatures and monsters to fight, and I just love the aspect of like exploring this deserted town. So now I've got the little map to this area, which you do want to find the maps for the area so you can keep track of where you're going, so you know where to progress to. Another thing that too is unique about this Silent Hill compared to other Silent Hill games is you actually have side quests that you can do along with the main story, which is unique to this Silent Hill game, as I've never seen that in other Silent Hill titles, where you actually have a main story to go through, but then there are side quests you can go on. The voice acting they picked the voice actors in this game, I think, is just amazing. The eeriness, the music, the lighting, everything I think about this game is just amazing to me, and I think it's great. This game did get a lot of hate. I don't know why people hated it so much, because I guess because it wasn't made by Team Silent, maybe because it was a little unique and different compared to previous Silent Hill games, but I definitely recommend you guys give this one a try if you never have before.
I can make this lock with the right tool.
And so just like the previous other Silent Hill games, you know, you do have a walkie-talkie that makes noises whenever an enemy is nearby, so alerts you, which is cool. You know, did that ever since the original Silent Hill. You also will have, you know, your traditional, you know, you have your health kits that you can find, the first aid kits. You'll find health bottles and stuff to regenerate Murphy's health. And another thing too I like about this that's unique is you actually can see the physical condition of Murphy. And when he starts taking damage, you know, he'll start being more bloodied up, and you can see he'll be panting more, and that's how you can tell how his the status of his health is, which is really sweet. So you guys will find a lot of unique stuff as you explore through the game and experience the story here of Murphy Pendleton. It's just something I think you guys should check out, especially if you're a big fan of Silent Hill games like I am. You like survival horror games, and if you've never had a chance to play Silent Hill Downpour, I highly recommend you guys check it out. Now you guys know I don't like ruining stories, so I won't, you know, explain anything about the story, go into any details, because that's something I want you guys to experience for yourself, because these games are all about the story and experiencing it and all the crazy twists and turns that happen as you play this game. But definitely think you guys will enjoy your time with Silent Hill Downpour. You know, let me know your guys' thoughts on it. I just wanted to give you guys a little taste of the controls and how it looks. Definitely a game that I really love, and I hope you guys enjoy it. A little look, a small taste of Silent Hill Downpour. You know, I had mentioned in that clip that, you know, I don't really want to ruin the story at all, so I don't want to go into details of the story, because the whole part of playing these Silent Hill games is for you as a player to experience the story of the character and the world that they get stuck with in Silent Hill, and it's always weird and bizarre. It controls really well. I like the lighting, the music, the atmosphere, just everything about it I think is fantastic, and it has a unique setting to do with the rain, as that is a very important aspect of the game. Definitely think you guys should check it out, and I'm looking forward to finally beating this game on the hardest difficulty. It'll be my 6th time beating this game, but I've never beat it on hard, and so that's why I'm working on this week and the next few weeks beating it on the hardest difficulty. Now, if you do absolutely everything in the game, complete all the side quests, and go through the main story and everything, you're probably going to be looking about 10 to 15 hours doing absolutely everything in the game, because you got to explore. The game does have a strategy guide, which I don't own. I just use an online guide. But I definitely recommend, if you can, get the strategy guide, because it'll help you with all the different secrets in the game and discover the different puzzles. Because this game, you know, just like previous Silent Hill games, has puzzles that you have to solve, and there's a different puzzle difficulty setting depending on the difficulty you set it on. So really fun game I think you guys should check out. So we'll do our quick little recap like we do every week. You know, I talked about Made Man for PlayStation 2, a wonderful third-person shooter that's a mafia game. Takes place over 3 decades, and it's just a really fun experience. Controls a lot like Max Payne, just a little bit more clunky controls. You know, like Max Payne's were more refined and the controls are better, but still a really fun game made by a small dev team. Definitely worth checking out. Just might be kind of hard to find a copy, as there's not a whole lot available on eBay, but it's one I think you guys should check out. And then we also talked about Silent Hill Downpour. I find this to be a fantastic game in the Silent Hill series. It did get a lot of hate from people, but it's definitely one I think you guys should check out, especially if you're a big fan of the Silent Hill series like I am. If you never played it before, pick up a copy. It's cheap. You can get it on Xbox 360. You can get it on the PS3. I think it's also on PC, and one great thing about it being on 360, it is backwards compatible on Xbox One and Xbox Series consoles. So I've been playing on Xbox One X, and it gets a nice little boost to the graphics and performance. Well, let me know your guys' thoughts on these games, whether you played them before. Let me know about the games you guys have been playing lately, and if you have suggestions on any games you think I should check out, let me know. You guys always do suggest really fun titles. Take care. You guys have an amazing day, and Sleepy will see you next time.